Hey everyone, Devon Digital, and I'm here to give you more smartphone photography tips. The first tip that I want to give you is please clean your camera lens. I swear I cannot stand when I see someone taking photos and I see that the pictures come out foggy and smudgy and just not the color saturation be off, just everything. And I be noticing it as a photographer when I'm looking at normal people taking pictures. So if you're really trying to get into this smartphone photography, just like regular photography, clean those lenses before taking your photos. Make sure, double check each time, because it's very easy to smudge these lenses when you're out shooting, especially when you put it in your pocket and you're moving from here to there, or you end up touching the lens. Just make sure that you just double check and clean your lens. That is tip number one, and it shouldn't even be a tip on this list, but I see it so many times, so I wanted to bring it up. The next tip that we're going to talk about is exposure. You hear it so many times. People talk about exposure this, exposure that. Don't blow out the highlights, don't blow out the shadows, but I'm telling you, yes, depending on your type of camera that you have. It is okay if you're trying to use it and you're trying to get a sense of HDR without using HDR. It's okay to underexpose your subject if you know that your camera strength is in the shadows, or if your camera strength is inside the highlights. So that means you can overblow the highlights slightly because you know that you can bring back that detail. Or if you have shadows and you know that your camera can bring back shadows real good, it's okay to underexpose to bring those back. So just keep that in mind when shooting with a smartphone and you're shooting in manual mode, or you're shooting with a camera in manual mode and you really need to get the sky and that person, but the sun and nothing is really working with you right now. So and you don't have any equipment, no lights, no reflectors, no nothing. It's just you and your camera. It's okay to overexpose or underexpose, but just know your camera strengths and which one you can do, because they will have some details in there, but if you completely blow it out, then there's no way of getting details back. And if you completely underexpose it, there's no way to get these details back. So just keep that in mind, that it's okay to over and underexpose. I do it on a lot of photos all the time when I'm shooting, because I'm trying to get the subject in, clear, and I'm trying to get the background without blowing out the clouds and everything like that. So just keep that in mind. It can work. You can do it. It's okay. I know a lot of photographers tell you not to, or people who say they are photographers. It's okay. A lot of us do it. It's definitely 100% okay. Of course, with me being a professional, I do have equipment and carry equipment with me. But if you're just one of those people who don't, and you're just using your phone, like me sometimes, it's okay. Hey, sorry to disrupt this video, but I just want to tell you about my Lightroom / Photoshop presets. If you're into photography or mobile photography, I know it could be hard for some of you beginners out there to figure out where to start at and what's a good base when editing your photos. Well, I got you. I have 2 preset packs just for you that will get you started. All you got to do is click that link down below and check out the packs and go ahead and find which one works for your style and what you like to do. And in these 2 packs, you have over 15 presets to choose from to your liking. And just remember, these are a baseline start. So that means you might have to do a little bit of tweaking to the light based off your conditions, because all lighting conditions are not treated equally. So all of my mobile photographers, amateur photographers, professional photographers, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and check out those packs, grab your presets, and start editing. Anyways, let's get back to the video, everyone. Next tip I'm going to talk about is that natural blur that you can get from some of these camera sensors. I know they're really small, they're not that huge, but you can get some good natural blur. If you move extremely close to your subject, it can become completely natural looking, and you don't have to worry about no portrait mode, and you can still shoot in RAW and still get that natural looking bokeh. I do it all the time. A lot of people be kind of shocked at, the bokeh and stuff like that from a lot of my shots. And then you can go into Lightroom, or you can go into Google Photos, or any editing program that you choose, and you can just add more blur to the background, which is not a cheat code, because this is all about photography. It's about your creative choice. A lot of people want to, take pictures, but if you're watching this, then you're more of an enthusiast. You're not worrying about point and shoot and keep on moving. You're more so like, I'm going to take this photo and I'm going to edit this photo and I'm going to make this thing look really, really good. So if you're that guy and you're watching this, then don't worry about going into, any program and adding more blur that these phones can do. Sometimes having the subject in focus and the background completely blown out makes for a better shot in some scenarios. Sometimes you want to be able to make sure that you capture the scene. So guys, everyone, just sometimes think about your scene before you're shooting, and make sure that it's a scene that you want to capture the background. And if it's a scene that you're trying to kind of like hide the background, then go ahead, add that blur and blow it out, get close to your subject, blow it out so nobody can really see what's going on in the back, because not every background looks good. But if you are trying to catch that scene because it's beautiful, then by all means capture that and make it look good. But don't feel ashamed if you go into any editing program and you adding blur, or even if you're taking it away because you actually shot too much blur and you actually want to see the scene. So just focus on your scene and the scenery when you're out here shooting. And that just rolls into my next tip, is that pick the perfect scene for whatever subject that you're shooting. If you're shooting a subject, I'm talking like me, because I'm a portrait photographer, I got subjects to shoot, but some of you are out here just shooting whatever out here, random stuff, but that still kind of applies. Think about the scene, think about the background, think about the composition of all of that. Make sure that everything coexists. Watch your lighting and everything else like that. And while we're talking about the scene and we're talking about the lighting, do not be afraid to use extra lighting equipment if needed for whatever it is that you're shooting. Again, this is photography 100% a creative choice from you. You don't have to rely on the camera to do everything. I know a lot of us go out here with our phones and we're just kind of pointing and shooting, but again, I'm talking to people who are enthusiasts who's really trying to get out here and create some art out here, not somebody who's point and shoot. But you can still use these tips if you're a point and shoot person, though. I'm not biased to anybody or whatever like that. Point and shoot people, you can still watch and learn something. But if you're enthusiast, get some lights, use some reflectors. It's okay to use it even if you're shooting with a cell phone or you're shooting with an actual camera. It's okay to use equipment to help you produce the shot that you're actually trying to get. I have some lights that I use sometimes when I'm using my smartphone to help elevate a lot of the stuff, to get some really good shots and everything like that. And you can do it too. One of the other tips I want to say is that a lot of people with smartphones tend to kind of rush their photos a lot. And I'm going to say, take your time, literally take your time, see the shot, vision it, and then capture the shot. If you got to shoot multiple shots to get whatever it is that you're shooting, do it. And then after viewing, if you don't like the angle, swap your angle, change your trajectory, where you're going up, you're going down, you're going from a corner, flip your camera upside down, do different things, flip it this way, try all kinds of different angles and rotate and everything else, and you'll see that you can get some very interesting photos. There's also different angles, whether you're high or you're low. Sometimes you want to be under your subject and point the camera this way, tilt it up, or sometimes you want to kind of tilt down if you're up. It doesn't matter. It's just play around with it, experiment with the different angles, because it's digital. I mean, you can take as many as you need, so it's okay to take multiple photos in different angles just to make sure that you walked away knowing that you got what you wanted. Because I can't count how many times as a professional photographer that I go back and look at some of my clients' photos and wish that I told them to tilt their head up slightly more, and it would have just changed the whole dynamic of a shot. Or if I would have told them move an arm or turn their body sideways a little bit more. I mean, just a few inches difference can make a big difference in a photography photo. So just keep that in mind. Take your time, analyze the picture, look at it, and just make sure it's exactly what you want. This is one of those tips where a lot of people really don't tell anybody, but it's okay to copy other photographers. Find a photographer's style that you actually love and you like, and try to produce what they produce. And it's okay. People think that it's not okay to be copying or something like that, but every artist copies. You guys already know that. I don't have to tell a lot of you that. Everyone knows that. So just find a photographer that you enjoy their work, their content that they post, and just kind of try to copy that, right? And when you copy that, try to add your own spin, your own style to that on top of that. If you're having a hard time trying to adjust and find yourself, because half the time when you're out here shooting, you don't have to sit here and think too hard. It's okay to download some images, download some shots or whatever like that you've seen, that you're like, oh, I would love to create this, I would love to shoot this while I'm out. And it's okay to go out there and do that. You use that as a guide to make you better. And then when you come back into the house, or you're editing on your phone, your laptop, your computer, your tablet, it doesn't matter, you go ahead and try your best to imitate whatever it is that you saw and create your own style and from there. Because I remember when I first started, that is exactly what I did until I found my own style, my own self. I needed a guide, and I used other photographers that I enjoyed their work tremendously, and I used them as a guide to help me get better at what I do, as far as like giving myself time to learn how to pose my subjects. And again, I'm talking about people because that's kind of like what I shoot, but it's the exact same thing when you're shooting static objects. At this point, it's not about you moving the subject, but you're moving you to place yourself in a better position to shoot the subject, so therefore you can get a good shot and a good angle. So it's no different. Normally it's me placing my subject, but it'd be you placing yourself in the correct way and holding your camera the correct way to get that subject the best that you can. So what I'm saying is, okay to copy, so just do it. Get out there and shoot. Anyways, everyone, if you enjoyed my content and you want to see more tips, tricks, and just learn more about smartphone photography, you are at the right channel. So please hit that like, share, and subscribe button, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace.